Morning everyone. Nice bright and early morning. Is pretty beautiful outside still. This morning I got to take some cull sheep to town, to the butcher plant where I sell everything. They take about 10 cull sheep per week if they meet a certain spec, and mine usually do. Got this beautiful 1985 GMC, and before I can pick up the stock trailer, I'm just gonna go check on some bulls at a neighboring farm. Whoa buddy. I don't think they like me, but they got lots of feed and they look happy. That's pretty much all bulls need, except for cows, but we're about a month away from that. All right, well, I'm gonna go get my sheep. This field that we're in kind of doubles as a pasture, and since the snow has melted, they've decided they need to run out there and check every 10 minutes to see if the grass is growing 1/4 of a millimeter. They're in the far corner, so I got a bucket of barley. That should call them in. If anyone's wondering why I wear earmuffs all the time, I do get a lot of questions about that. The earmuffs I wear are Bluetooth, and if anyone's worked around sheep, they're very loud and it will drive you completely insane. And I just kind of gotten used to wearing them all the time, and it adds really good audio quality, so I'm always listening to a podcast or a song, and it's a lot more exciting than being left alone with my thoughts. And I look kind of weird because I always have earmuffs on, even when it's like a nice quiet morning like this, but right now Flow Rider's just ripping in my ears and I'm loving it. Hi buddy. It's my microphone. Smell it? Hi buddy. Okay, let's go. That's some good guard dogs. They're bringing in my sheep, or they were. From what I can tell way over there, they scared them, got themselves tangled up in the electric fence, then ripped it off the post. That's just what I needed. All right, come sheep. Come on, girls. Good work, Freddie. Good work, come on. Yeah, good boy. Okay, thank you for rounding them up for me. If I shake the bucket, they know there's grain in here and they're coming. Come on, girls, let's go. Hey, 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 hey. Pretty handy tool. All right, so I know I've got at least 2, maybe 3 in here that I'm gonna take. Should probably close that gate. Oh, they're gonna take that. Yep, they attacked my barley. Oh well. Guys, hey, that's a very expensive bucket you're destroying. Excuse me. Okay, let's do this. Follow the barley. I can catch 1 sheep. By the time I've caught the first one, the rest of them figure out, hey, that guy's trying to catch us. Rams are the worst. Freddie, you look so sad. Oh, Freddie thinks I'm taking his sheep away from him, and they don't like being alone. But he doesn't know I'm just taking 2 or 3. One thing that would be important to note here, I'm not actually very good at roping. My rodeo career didn't take off nearly as well as my motocross career did, and my motocross career never really took off, so, and I never actually tried to rodeo. Felt like riding a bull was kind of like racing a dirt bike, except the objective was to crash, and you would have had to learn how to ride a horse to be able to rope, and again, dirt bikes are way cooler. So everything that I'm taking today is made up of sheep that have lost their lambs by fault of their own. So in my general rule kind of is, if a ewe has lambs and environmental factors and other sheep, anything that's not their fault kills their lambs, then I will keep that sheep. But if a sheep has lambs and she kills them, she doesn't care about them, or she's just generally a jerk towards them, she's gone. So I've got 2 in here, and I think I have 3 in the barn. That should make the 5. So I got 1 more to catch here. All right, so I've got 1 up in the trailer now, and she's freaking out. She wants out. Come on, this way. This is gonna actually be tough because she wants out. The door's sliding open. Would you like out? So I apologize if the footage isn't very good. Got 288 and 333, 335. All right, so I'm fairly confident those are the right numbers, but I'm just gonna go double check in my calving, I'm gonna go double check in my lambing notes. Those are for sure the ones that I wanted. It's also really important to make sure you latch your stock trailer. Last year I did that job and I think I drug like 10 or 11 out of the pen. Fought with them because I was like, oh, this will just be easy. I won't move them into the handling system and sort them properly. I'll just rope them. Yeah, no, don't do that. Well, anyway, I loaded them all in the stock trailer, loaded them up, stopped at my house. And as I walked out my house, hear the door slowly roll open. 12 sheep walk out and they're just like, hey, what's happening, guys? Think they want it back in the trailer? I don't think so. As I'm walking in here, and I haven't had a chance to get caught up in the barn, but one sheep had 2 little black lambs. And then another sheep over here had a set of triplets. So we're getting back on a bit of a schedule for lambing here. Never had a set of black lambs before. Usually I have like one. It's kind of weird, but these guys are kind of cute. Got a good caring mother. A caring mother is key to success in anything. Humans, sheep, cows, cats, dogs, no matter. Parental involvement is very important. We're back in the barn here. I got the trailer. I backed the trailer up to the barn here. I've got 2 in here. Canada, it's the law that any animal that goes for sale or slaughter has a RFID tag in it. The cattle ones are little round ones. These are what we have for sheep. They fold over in their ear, and it's just a part of traceability. So I have to register my farm, my location every time I buy one of these tags. Every sheep or lamb that I sell is tied back to this location. If there's something that has, like, I don't know, if the meat's condemned or some kind of issue, they can tie it all back to me. To be honest, I don't mind it. It stops a lot of hokiness that happens within the livestock industry, but I noticed that one of my sheep is missing it, and I'm going to be a law-abiding citizen and tag it. You guys have any words to say before you go to your final destination of slaughter? Yeah, didn't think so. So you can see on her ear right here, it got ripped out. She did have one. I'll give you another one. So it's the next morning here. I've got those other 2 wooden sheds that I'm gonna load up on my truck and haul to a friend of mine. But I've got to put plywood on the sides to finish them off first, and then we'll get to it. still a couple holes in the back of this shed, and I only sell quality merchandise, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Really nice if he doesn't drop it on my truck. Alright, we're unloaded, back home. I got a lot to do because it's supposed to snow tomorrow. Well, it's like I said, it's supposed to snow tomorrow, and the weather is really cooling down. You can feel it coming. So with that, I've closed some vents in the barn again. There's not as many sheep in here as there normally is. And then they don't produce as much heat. Also, they don't need to exhaust as much air, so you just kind of cut everything in half. Cut the BTUs that the sheep produce in half, cut the airflow required in half. Of course, I don't calculate it, I just go by feel. There still shouldn't be a reason for the furnaces to be running when it's above zero, but it's starting to really cool off outside. So managing airflow, once again, it's a lot easier with less sheep. But we had this set of black twins yesterday. They look really good. I'm liking them. They're both females, so those are gonna make good replacements. Then I had this set of triplets yesterday as well, and one of them really wasn't looking good. He's kind of rallying now, so I'm gonna keep them on her another full day, I think. I've given all three of them colostrum a couple times now. I'm gonna do it again. I think they had a tough start to life, and they're just a little bit slow going, so if I can help them a little bit, that's key. And then this set of twins was just born too. I'm trying to get things in here looked after because I want to go grind some grain and then run my mix mill down the road where I can park it inside before it gets all covered in snow and wetness that's about to come. I have a feeling this weather event's not going to be a friendly one, but time will tell what tomorrow brings. Sheep are really upset with me because I'm a little bit late feeding, but trying to get this grain ground before the snow comes. If only they knew the weather was going to turn as bad as it's supposed to tomorrow. I don't even know if it's going to turn that. They just tell us what they expect. There's 50% chance they got it right. They either do or they don't. So I know I showed grinding grain in my last video, but just if it's gonna snow as bad as they say, I want everything done and looked after best I can before the fact. Alright, those sheep are still screaming at me because they're hungry, but I'm gonna get this mix mill blown off and cleaned up real nice before I put it away in a shed. It's all in the effort to make things, keep things as nice a shape as we can. Well, I just sheared a pin on my mixer. There's two bolts that act as the driveline protection. And I think there's too much wet bale silage in here, so when I engaged it, it went ping. You see it there. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, there we go. There's half of the bolt that's broken. It's not exactly what I wanted at 7 o'clock tonight when I'm already an hour and a half late feeding sheep. Ah, boy. Alright, I got a collection of bolts. I do not have a good feeling about this. I think it's balled up with very long, wet bale silage that's not cut, that barley oats mix. So just keep banging it through. It's kind of like when you're in a combine and it goes screech and then everything stops moving and you get all kinds of alarms. Just sit there for a minute and think about it. Except for the fact that I've got a bunch of hungry sheep and I've got a plugged feed mixer. That could have been really bad. I was visioning how I was gonna unplug this thing, or I was gonna open the conveyor up and try and fork out as much as I could, or I was gonna get another tractor and try and lift it up and fork it out the back. Tell you one thing, I don't care how bad the drought is if we have another one. I am not buying barley oat mix bales that haven't been through a cutter. It costs a fortune to process them, and this is the second time this has happened this year. Shouldn't be breaking shear pins on a mixer. Also, I just remembered I didn't put nuts on the bolts that it's riding on because I didn't think it would actually catch. I thought it would just keep breaking pins. So I'm gonna let it mix to the point where it's nice and free, and then I'll actually fix it properly here. See that bolt there? It's just riding on the bolt heads, so it gives it a little bit of a free play turning. So there's two in there and I've got to fix both of them. That worked pretty good. Always shut your tractor off if you're doing any PTO work or any work on it, really. It's not worth it, folks. So there's a little hole in there. You got to get it just right. Helps to have small hands if you're a sheep farmer, for more reasons than one. There we go. And there is the old head of the old bolt. Broke right off. I am so relieved I got this thing fixed, or I got it to free up. I was honestly preparing for a bad one here. I hate plugging things, especially when you have animals you're relying on. Alright, for future reference for myself, I need to go to town and buy a handful of 1/4 inch by 5/8 bolts. Alright, it's just starting to snow again here and it's really cold. I'm gonna finish feeding and put a bale of straw out. I was hoping to wait another day for putting fresh bedding out, just if it's gonna snow, then if I put fresh straw out and it snows, then it's gonna get all muddy. But they're in too much moisture as it is, and it's gonna be cold, so I'd rather I sleep well at night knowing that all the lambs are tucked in on some dry straw. We'll see what tomorrow brings, and the other thing I'm going to do is go through and smooth out all those ruts in the feed alley. One day it's in the budget to dig it down and build a proper road in there, but it was either keep feeding with a pitchfork and a bucket for now or live with the mud. I'll live with the mud for a year or two. So I'll smooth everything out because it's supposed to freeze, and nothing worse than having ruts that are frozen in place. It's supposed to be like it's supposed to get down to -15 in a couple nights. But the sheep are screaming at me, so I'm gonna go finish chores tonight and get ready for tomorrow. As I go through to set up camera angles. grain farmers are all rejoicing because we're actually gonna have moisture. I mean, at least the forecast was right. They said it was gonna snow, and it did. It's not, thankfully it's not that cold. All this really means is everything's gonna be a mess for the next while, but we are fairly dry. So any moisture, I guess, is good moisture at this point. The beginning of this video, and that beautiful sunrise when I was talking, and that beautiful spring morning, that was Monday. This is Wednesday. I bet you by next Monday we'll be back to that. Hey everyone. We nice and warm in here? Alright, one of those triplets that was born a couple days ago. They're all doing good, quite happy with it. So I pulled the strongest one. Usually I'll pull the weakest one just because there's less competition in the orphan pen and it's a little bit of an easier life. But I pulled the strongest one because the other two had a really tough start to life. This is day 3 in their jug. Just gonna take it easy on them with the process, make sure that they're looked after. So I got the strongest one here. Hello. I'm gonna try and get him trained up on the jug now. But I've got some lambs that are definitely willing to help me here. They're very cute, but they get super annoying after a while. That's right. Excuse me. Excuse me. Leave the camera alone. Hey. Hey, both you guys, come on. Scooch. Hello. Hi. Hello. No kisses. Excuse me. These guys are pretty cute. Alright, so the barn chores are done, venturing back out to the winter wonderland. So I'm about 6 weeks behind filming all the time. Maybe I'll be a little closer by now. But anyway, with that, I'm noticing a few viewers from the United Kingdom, Iceland, Australia, for example. If there's sheep farmers from other countries or other farmers in general that look at what we do here in Canada as to why we put everything in a barn and why shelters are so important and why we keep everything in jugs, and we seem to work extremely hard on every sheep compared to just turning them out on pasture, letting them go. Days like this is a good example of that. A few days ago it was nice and warm. Today, pure winter. And if we had lambs out on pasture or trying to lamb outside without shelter, we would have a stack of dead lambs. Because it could be minus 30 right now, and it could be plus 15. This time of year is pretty unpredictable. Actually, literally every time of year is unpredictable in Alberta. Specifically Western Canada, well, specifically Alberta here is very unpredictable. And I am actually second in command on another farm, family farm, that I will not be filming. So for most of the year, I'm fairly busy in the growing season. I lamb in the winter, and the way that our market works in Canada is pretty much midwinter to June is the highest market for lambs. And then it starts to steadily fall off. So if I can lamb in the winter, it works good for the rest of the other part of my job, and the market works well. With that, we have to lamb inside, we have to keep things in shelter, work our butts off, keep the animals warm and hopefully alive. Otherwise, I could see the benefits to turning sheep out on the range and just letting them lamb. That would be really cool. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how they don't all die, but I only know what I know. I only know what I've experienced. That's the great thing about YouTube, is we get to see different parts of the world from the comfort of our chair. Speaking of the comfort of our chair, I think I'm gonna go back inside because I don't want to be out here much longer. I do have to check every animal, make sure everyone's looking somewhat alive. You guys didn't spread the straw in the shed like you should have. See, that sheep's fine. You just bedded down, chewing her cud. She's happy. And under this snow, just mud. Pure mud. Thankful I have these sheds. Hey guys. So it is dry in the sheds. They're all snuggled up. They're still wet. I don't love that, but my goodness. That other pen over there, where the other pen I just walked out of, that's what I used to have to deal with before I had these sheds. And I showed earlier in my channel here, oh my gosh, I sound like a YouTuber. A few videos ago, I talked in detail about these metal sheds that we built and drug them into place and stuff. That's a huge upgrade for my farm. I mean, I did start this place from nothing, and I am on a tight budget, so I don't have the resources to go out and build fancy sheds and fancy barns. I just bought a welder. I bought a $200 welder, hired a friend of mine, and these turned out pretty good. And oh my gosh, is it such a blessing compared to little old wooden sheds. Everything's good. Everything's, for the most part, inside. Lambs are eating their creep. Got some nice, healthy, heavy-looking lambs here. Pretty happy with the size they are for being, oh, around 60 days on the oldest ones. Oh, and we got a sheep with her head stuck in the fence. Get out. Get out. Come on. Do it. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Cat, look out. Okay, let's go. Got in there, you can get out. Come on. Camera fell off the post, but I got her out. Okay, like I said, I'm going back in. It's a good day for paperwork. Well, everything's bedded. Wouldn't be surprised I have to put a bale of straw out every day this week. It's supposed to be this weather next 4 days. But the local agriculture college is having a sheep technology showcase day today. I was on a waiting list to get into it, and because the weather is so lovely, nobody else wanted to leave. Waiting list opened up, and now I get to go over there for some exciting sheep sessions and free pizza. So I think everything's under control. Had another set of twins in the barn. They're happy for the most part. I don't like these days. Just it's tough. Everything's sick, and you work so hard to try and do everything right, and the weather can get you. But we do the best we can, like I've always said. And I'm pretty pleased with leaving things now. So thanks for watching, you guys. We'll catch you next time.